Instagram, whether you like it or not, is an incredibly high leverage platform for many different mediums of the modern world. Dating, education, business, networking, the list goes on. I have friends who run their entire businesses off Instagram. They generate most of their leads from Instagram. They met their girlfriends on Instagram. This video is for my boys. We need G profiles. We need profiles which signal status, trustworthiness, and value. The problem is that I've noticed with a lot of you boys who are following me on Instagram, follow me by the way, is that your profiles are absolutely dead. Gym mirror selfie, not color graded, weird pose, awkward angle, whatever it is, it's clapped. How are you going to impress a woman with a picture like that? How are you going to gain the trust of a client with a profile like that? I know a lot of you boys cope and say, "You don't need Instagram to be successful. Instagram is evil." This is the equivalent of blaming guns for mass shootings. If you're mentally strong enough to utilize it in a healthy manner which benefits you, you'll gain a massive competitive advantage over those who are not willing to use it. I will show you exactly how I take, edit, color grade, and organize my Instagram photos ready for upload. And I think my Instagram game is pretty top tier. And I'd love to see a lot of you boys who are following me over there to start having a much cleaner game as well. Because like I say, some of you guys' profiles are just trash. Let's first talk about taking the photo. I remember when I first started to try to take better photos. My friend Yanis, who now runs the Motion Design Academy of Excellence and teaches you how to make Jeffrey and Adonis like animations, Dan Coe like animations, check it out in the description, would relentlessly flame my pathetic attempts of taking good photos. And at the time, it would actually make me angry. But honestly, I'm actually really grateful that he did, because it continued to push me to be better. My photos back then were clapped. My photo game has significantly improved since then. The direct comparisons are brutal. One of the main things that my friend flamed me on was the quality of my camera. I'm now going to rustle a few geeks' feathers. Android camera quality is garbage. Buy an iPhone immediately. You cannot even begin to compete when you have an Android camera. And I also remember relentlessly defending Android. But it's far more customizable. Whatever the fuck geek shit I said. It's garbage. Nothing on your phone is more important than being able to capture moments. Android does this horribly. So, rule 1, buy an iPhone. Rule 2 is to actually live a somewhat interesting life. A lot of you boys are doing absolutely nothing even remotely interesting, apart from going to the gym sometimes. You've got mirror selfies at home, you've got a mirror selfie in the gym. Who gives a fuck? Do something. It doesn't have to be crazy, but you want to signal that your life is mysterious or fun or anything other than boring and monotonous. Rule 3 is to look candid while in social scenarios and in high value places. Candid means that you're just going about your day. You're not pulling a pose or doing anything crazy, right? The absolute worst type of photos are these like poorest photos when you've got someone at like, I don't know, the Eiffel Tower and they're fucking cheesing at the camera like, you know, some bullshit. They're at the Leaning Tower of Pisa like, you know, whatever the fuck it is, right? You know what that signals if you're taking photos like that? I never do things like this. I never travel. I never see cool places. And this is the height of my life. It's so good that I had to take this photo of me cheesing like this. Now on the flip side, let's say you're at the Eiffel Tower and you're taking a cool candid photo of you smoking a cigar at a restaurant overlooking the Eiffel Tower, right? You know what that signals? Just another day in the life of being a G, baby. That's what you want. Never address the camera directly in your photos. Rule 4, look good and pick your moments. Duh, look good is obvious. Nice hair, well groomed, fits mad, etc. Picking your moments just means that having the ability to ask a G or someone who you're with to say, hey, can you get some candid photos of me real quick? Once again, while doing something interesting. Rule 5, take as many photos as possible. This is a very important one. There's no downsides to having too many photos. I genuinely spam the fuck out of my camera button until I have around 100 to 150 photos. 90% of these photos will be garbage. However, 10% will come out great. Hey bro, you mind just taking a few pictures for me? Just spam the camera button and try a few different angles. That's it. And your camera feed will look something like this. It's a bit of a mess, right? Rule number 6 is to scroll through these photos and just favorite the ones that you like. It shouldn't take too long. You should be able to see very quickly if a photo's trash or not. And you'll probably end up with around 5 to 10 good photos that you really like. Great. Congratulations, you have your photos. But don't get it twisted, this is where a lot of people fuck up. These photos are not good to go yet. Now we have to move over to our laptop or our PC to edit them. Firstly, we open up our Photoshop, we want to make a new file, and these are the dimensions that we want to be working with, 1080 by 1350. You can have Instagram posts which are just square, but I prefer to have a bit more length to mine. That sounds gay as fuck. So this is the canvas that we're gonna be working with. Now, we've airdropped our photos from our iPhone, because we're not brokey Android users, onto our MacBook. If you don't have airdrop, it's okay. Google Drive. Just make sure you're not using a service which is actually compressing the fuck out of your photos. For example, if you send it to yourself on WhatsApp, WhatsApp will compress the fuck out of the quality of your photos, so be careful for that. So let's say you've got 4 photos, okay? You want to go through with an elimination process, so you click on this eyeball, actually like this photo more, so then you delete this one, and then you continue to do that until you're left with 1 or 2 photos. However many you want, okay? I usually just end up with 1 photo from each sort of shoot. But I just have 2, so it's not really hard. I'll just do this and figure out which one I like more. And I know for sure that I like this one more. I just look like a Michelin man. My arms just look kind of fat in this one. We're left with our photo now. First thing that we want to do is frame it correctly. It's not even fitting the dimensions so far, so we have to fix that. But also, you can see my skinny ass calves, and I swear to God, my calves aren't that skinny, but they just look bad in this photo. Here, we're gonna scale it the fuck up, and we're gonna get what we actually want in the frame, which will be something more like this. Once again, we're looking candid in a cool environment. I'm not looking at the camera like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just looking cool, I'm doing my thing, I'm on my phone, I'm chilling, you know? This one's a little bit try-hard, to be fair. Like, you can tell it's like a little bit try-hard, but it's fine. So now that we've framed our photo a bit better, now we're going to look for discrepancies that we can fix. For example, if my hair is like shit in one of these photos and there's like a big fringe gap or something which isn't usually there, then I can fix that inside of Photoshop. I'll use the clone stamp tool. Basically what you do is you take the brush, you hold Alt or Option if you're on Mac, and you click somewhere else on the screen where you like the sort of pattern. So for example, you want more hair, so I'm going to grab my hair here, and then you can actually, I mean, that looks awful. So that bit of hair didn't look very good at all, so we'll grab it from a different bit of hair. So we'll hold Option again, and we'll see if I can get a good bit of hair. It takes a bit of trial and error. I think that's a little bit better, but it's still very out of place. If you zoom out, you can't see it for shit, by the way. But zooming in, you can actually see quite easily. So see if you can mess around with the blending options, make it more subtle. Maybe if we select it and then add like a feather effect or something, that might help. That's much better, see? So you see how subtle that is, but you see it looks like my fringe is more full. Just to be clear, when you're editing your photos, I don't want you to edit them in an unrealistic way. The way I edit my photos is, if it's possible for me to look that way, then I might edit it that way. For example, like if I have a spot here, I might get the plaster tool here and go like that and fix it. I might do things like that, but I'm not fucking altering my jawline to look like Giga Chad, okay? There we go. Real. That's real. There you go. I'm not doing dumb shit like this, okay? All I'm saying is, if it's possible to look that way, but for some reason in a photo you don't, then you should probably edit it so you look better, because you want to be putting your best across in your photos. Not unrealistic, but your best. And now we're going to go into color grading. A lot of you guys just take your photos and then you don't color grade them, or you do some lazy ass Instagram filter. And the Instagram filters are okay. They're okay, but they're not as anywhere near as good as if you actually color graded them yourself and got the exact effect that you wanted, rather than like, oh, swipe a few times, oh yeah, Instagram filter, yeah, that looks fine. So, firstly, we're gonna merge these 2 layers. Then we're gonna go to filter, camera raw filter. Now here, we have a bunch of sliders. You guys are all shitting yourselves now. You're like, oh my God, what the fuck are all these? Don't worry, okay? Just literally play around with the sliders until you get the effect that you want. So exposure, it's gonna overexpose the photo. I don't like exposure. I like darker sort of themes, so I'm gonna go there. I also like to kind of over-saturate my photos a little bit. It just makes the environments that I'm in look way cooler. And by the way, when you're doing this, it'll show the whole photo, but don't worry, you've cut out the other half, so you won't see that. These at the bottom here, curve, detail, color mixer, that's all extra. You don't really need to go into that. Just the basic stuff. So this is what I've got. You see how much of a fucking difference that makes? Like, that is a far more aesthetic photo than what it was. Look how overblown and washed out that shit is there. Boom. Suddenly I'm in fucking high value, epic, sunny, beautiful place. From here, file, export, export as. High resolution JPEG, right resolution, export. Boom. You've got your Instagrammable photo now. You literally just put that up on Instagram, either solo or in a carousel. You know when someone makes a post and you can swipe through multiple photos? That's a carousel. And that is how you take better Instagram photos. Just a quick bonus for you boys as well. Stories is also a massive part of your branding, SMV value, whatever it may be. When people click on your Instagram profile, they're gonna see your posts first, so that'll be first impressions, that's the most important. But once they're following you, the stories is gonna be what they're gonna be seeing most of the time. Now, I'm not expecting you to go through this rigorous routine every time you wanna make a story post. What I will say is though, instead of using the Instagram app to take your story photos, use your phone's camera app, number one, because it's much better quality on the native camera app on your iPhone rather than on Instagram. Number two, you can color grade your photos inside of the gallery on your iPhone. And as you can see, the before and after is quite jarring as to how aesthetic the photo is. So color grade and edit your photos inside of the iPhone for your stories. It makes a big difference. I hope this video was helpful. I know it's a little bit different to the normal stuff. This was a lot more like, you know, mechanical and hands-on rather than the theoretical stuff. But I've seen a lot of people talk about Instagram and how to navigate Instagram and create high good posts and stuff like that, but they've not actually shown you mechanically what needs to be done, from the picture taking to also the editing. And I have the unique skill to be able to do both of those things, and I thought that I would show you exactly how I take my Instagram posts so that you can emulate my methods to create a good high value Instagram account, because I think my Instagram account's pretty cool. And it took a long time for me to level this stuff up, so don't be discouraged if straight away your Instagram is still mid as fuck. It takes some time, but you need to continue practicing. I hope this video helped. If you want to learn how to make money online from your bedroom, click this video right here. Take care, boys.